Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. It is Friday, April 19th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey, the geriatric, the puppet, the child sniffer, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs numerous amounts of times, falls off his bicycle standing stationary, falls at a graduation ceremony over an alleged sandbag and can't get himself back up, looks for dead people in the crowd, converses with dead people. He is having full-on conversations with people that have been dead for like over 3 decades. And it's not that he's just conversing. He's seeing them. Joe Biden's clairvoyant. He's a psychic. It's wild. This dude's taking photos with people at events that were never even in the state. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he starts talking about people he's taking photos with that never existed. This dude is a liar. His head ain't working. And 81 million people. I say it all the time. It's not even our most insane statistic. Him fighting with his teleprompter and losing. Joe Biden's never won against his teleprompter. His teleprompter's undefeated for the last 4 years. That's the most insane statistic. 81 million people voted for Joey here. That guy. We'll get to it in just one moment. Oh, we will. He is still the worst president in American history. Patriots, it's great to be back with you on this fine Friday morning. And holy lordy, we made it another week with Joey in office. Who would have thought? Paying up the wazoo at the grocery store, at the gas pump, your electricity bills probably doubled. Your retirement has probably moved up a smidge from when it was at a 9.1% inflation rate in the market, when the market dipped. Holy lordy, folks. And as you can see, a little bit of technology malfunction on our end. The lights ain't working back here. Don't know what's happening, but the show must go on nonetheless. Holy lordy. Well, folks, we're going to kick it off here. This one kind of went viral about 48 hours ago, and I missed it. Biden claims uncle's body was never found after World War II plane crashed because of a lot of cannibals. I don't know where he gets this, you guys. This is like Alzheimer's or dementia or something. This is where you just start pulling stuff out of your you-know-what and just start rambling. This is what he does, you guys, and we have a clip of it. This is what he does. Here's Joey. Holy lordy.
And my uncle, they called him Ambrose, Brosey, they called him Bosey. My uncle Bosey was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. And
is anybody else looking at the guy behind him going like, what the hell are you talking about? And no, I'm not talking about the lady on the, you know what I'm talking about. Holy lordy. So this guy, wait, oh, the White House is already trying to clean it up, you guys. That's why we're covering this. Not from the fact that I missed it. I don't know how I missed this, but Karine Jean-Pierre, like, not a cleanup of his diaper. No, he didn't duty his pants. Not that cleanup of Joey, even though I wouldn't be surprised if that happens every now and then. No, this is a cleanup from what you just heard. He straight up lied, you guys. He straight up lied. Biden's comments about the disappearance of his uncle do not align with official government records about the crash, which suggests that the plane went down due to mechanical failure, and that 3 of the men on board drowned. Dude, he's just pulling shit out of his ass. He's just making it up like he always does. Typical. So Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about Biden's dubious story and about his uncle Boise or Bosey, whatever the hell he was saying, and being eaten by cannibals. And this is what Karine Jean-Pierre had to say, you guys. Here we go. It's only audio on Air Force One. Here we go.
A couple of questions. Okay.
Can we just see the cannibal tab in your book?
There's no cannibal tab. What are you talking about? Is that what you're asking me about?
I mean, can you fit us in?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I'll just, and I think we shared this with some of you, so I'm just going to kind of repeat. Look, you saw the president. He was incredibly proud of his uncle's service in uniform. You saw him at the War Memorial. It was incredibly emotional and important to him. You saw him respond to all of you when asked about the moment yesterday. And his uncle, who lost his life when the military aircraft He was on crashed in the Pacific after taking off near New Guinea. The president highlighted his uncle's story as he made the case for honoring our sacred commitment to equip those we send to war and to take care of them and their families when they come home. And as he reiterated that the last thing American veterans are suckers or losers, and he wanted to make that clear. He wanted to make
the story.
I mean, look, I don't have anything beyond about what I just laid out, but it was a really proud moment for him. It was incredibly emotional. I think some of your colleagues, as you know, Zeke, were there, and they got to witness the president pray at the War Memorial, look for his uncle's name, honor him, and I think we can't forget that moment, and we cannot also forget what it means to be a commander-in-chief, what it means to lift up our service members, what it means to make sure that we respect their service.
Oh my God! Talk about diarrhea mouth, you guys. And by the way, just a huge lie regarding Trump there. So, you have here the conversation begin with a reporter, as you saw, jokingly asking Karine Jean-Pierre whether there was a cannibal tab in the binder she carried to press briefings. Folks, they're making fun of her. She doesn't pick up on that. That's how stupid this lady is. They're making fun of her because she has no answers, and all the answers that they're getting are out of a binder, and half the time they don't even get answers from the binder. Why doesn't she just hand out the binder for the press briefings? You might actually get better luck of getting your question answered than you are asking her the question. So she says, no, there's no cannibal tab. What are you talking about? She joked. Come on, Karine, indulge us a little bit. We all know what's happening here and what's being said. So you saw the president. He was incredibly proud of his uncle's service in uniform. You saw him at the War Memorial. It was incredibly emotional and important to him. Does he know he has an uncle? Like, hand to God, does he know that he was at a war memorial? Does Joe know where he was at? I'm not joking. No, it might seem like I am. No. Does Joe know that he has an uncle? Or did somebody just write that? I mean, he made it up. He had to pull it out of somewhere. She went on to repeat part of the story, saying that Biden's uncle had lost his life after the military aircraft he was on crashed in the Pacific Ocean off near New Guinea, and pivoting quickly to attack Trump, saying that Biden didn't believe service members were suckers or losers. You guys, please understand, this is completely fabricated, completely made up. It's actual BS. For an administration that talks about fake news all the time and espouses fake news and misinformation, disinformation, that is the White House. You guys, Trump couldn't go to the cemetery, and this comes from the Secret Service themselves, because it wasn't safe enough. The air was bad, so they couldn't helicopter the guy over, which, by the way, has nothing to do with suckers or losers. Completely made up, totally fabricated. It's in quotes for some reason. Not Trump's quotes. Karine Jean-Pierre said it, so did Joe Biden. He couldn't get there because the weather was bad. And gee, the Secret Service's job to protect Trump as president of the United States is saying, hey, you shouldn't get on an aircraft or a plane or however you want to phrase it, because it's probably going to crash and burn, and you're the president. We need you. So they go, maybe we could drive you there. They didn't have enough security to cover the president. So like, we're not going to do it. They completely fabricated this. It's bullshit. When reporters pressed her about the veracity of the story, Karine Jean-Pierre said he had nothing to add, or she had nothing to add other than the fact that it was really a proud moment for him. Oh. Not the fact that he completely lied and completely made it up, and all of it was wrong practically. We're not going to talk about that. But somehow, Joe Biden, he's sharp, you guys. This guy's sharp. This guy right here. That's not my words. That's Karine Jean-Pierre's words. That's the Democrat Party platform's words. That's MSNBC, CNN, and all the others. He's sharp. Oh, yeah, no. He asks great questions is what we're told. He's a mentor, you guys. Just a phenomenal mentor. He really pushes them is what we were told. Does that look like a guy that you would want as your mentor? I know it ain't the guy you want babysitting your children. That's for damn sure. Nor running the country. Oh, my Lord. This guy doesn't have his head on straight. Somehow, like I said, 81 million people, folks. 81 million people. Well, the big story of the day is regarding the Trump hush money. I don't even like to say that. It was a Trump payment, okay? Trump paid somebody to shut up because he didn't want bad news about his family. Had nothing to do with the election. So, Trump, this whole trial, this whole political charade, this clown show by the Democrat Party, that's what I'm going to call it because it's the Democrats run this. Wait till we get to it. Is centered around these allegations during the 2016 presidential campaign where Trump is allegedly said to have paid money to suppress claims about a past extramarital sexual encounter. And now they're calling it actually encounters. Where, if you recall, this included about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, which I believe she even said it wasn't hush money, and then a $150,000 payment to Playboy model Karen McDougal. These payments are alleged to have been reported as a campaign expense, but it's coming out saying these weren't under campaign expenses, so nobody understands why this is a trial in the first place. And what Alvin Bragg is saying, well, this is meant to influence the election outcome by keeping damaged stories out of the press, which is an insane, I honestly, God, I don't even know how you get there, but somehow they're trying to just kind of force match this to get there. So as you know, Trump is charged with 34 felonies of falsifying business payments. So, like, talk about throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and just seeing what lands. That's exactly what you're seeing here. And they're saying the case is significant not only for the nature of the charges, but because it marks the first time a former U.S. president is being prosecuted for a crime in court, bringing unprecedented legal and constitutional questions into the spotlight. Oh, yeah, big time. And it's suspected the last several weeks where Trump can't even go to his family functions, look at his own son graduating, and it's going to stop him from being on the campaign trail. They're putting a gag order, want to put a gag order on this guy, and if he violates it, Alvin Bragg wants to throw him in the brig. I mean, everybody knows this is political. So the question is, like, what's the Trump's campaign defense here? What's Alvin Bragg's prosecution all about? And then the big one, we got all 12 jurors. We got information about them, and you're damn right. We're going to go through every single one together because there's a lot of foosery going on here. And we have it summed up in one tweet. Oh, we'll get there. Hang on. We got it all packaged for you today, folks. A long episode. A lot of money. So the Trump campaign's defense, the Trump campaign defense in the hush money trial is largely focused on basically discrediting the motives themselves behind the charges and asserting that payments were personal, meaning not political in any nature. And Trump and his legal team argue that these payments to Stormy Daniels and others, meaning McDougal, and others, were made to protect his family from false allegations, and rather than influence the actual election. So I think Alvin Bragg's gonna have a tough time because this has to basically do with intent. And Trump's saying the intent wasn't to basically manipulate the election in any way or influence the election, but it was more of a personal note because he didn't want this disruption to take place within his family, and he was trying to protect his family again from these false allegations. Now, the distinction, again, is crucial to the Trump campaign, you guys, because campaign finance laws govern expenditures meant to influence elections, not personal payments. So now you're seeing why the Trump campaign is utilizing this defense here to hopefully get Trump off, and I think they will. Like I said, I think this is a witch hunt. This is a big witch hunt. And additionally, the defense has consistently portrayed the prosecution's efforts as politically motivated. I mean, hell, a lot of Democrats are starting to think it's even politically motivated. Wait till we get to the tweet. It proves it. It proves it. Aiming to undermine Trump's credibility and affect his chances in future elections. And they're also trying to frame the charges as a politically charged attack, which everybody knows it is. And Trump's legal team seeks to question the basically impartiality and the motivation of the prosecution itself. I mean, the guy literally said he was going to run on prosecuting Trump. I mean, there ain't much in terms of having to prove motivation of prosecution here. The dude said out that's what he was going to do if he got in his position. That's very well what he's going to do and has been doing. Well, Alvin Bragg, who's a nut job, has emphasized that the hush money trial involving Trump is strictly a legal matter and not politically motivated. Oh, wait till we get to it. Bragg's office has charged Trump for falsifying business records to conceal his involvement in payments made during the 2016 election. Because it's 2024, okay? Where, if it was such a big deal, where was this? I don't know. In 2016, 8 years ago, you're gonna go back 8 years ago after this guy and say, well, it's not politically motivated. Oh no, it's all due process. It's all there. It's all in. No, none of us believe it. So this is a great tweet here by Dan Bongino, and just follow what he says because he's so spot on. Dan is so spot on. A Democrat judge with a daughter working for Democrats is presiding over a trial in a deeply Democrat city within a Democrat state brought by a Democrat prosecutor with an assistant prosecutor on loan from a Democrat president's DOJ in a state with a Democrat attorney general who ran on prosecuting Trump and with a jury pool selected from majority Democrats. No, it's totally legit. It's totally legit. It's not politically motivated at all, you guys. No, not at all. Like, who believes this? Who believes that it's not politically motivated? Like, there's a reason why Democrats, like our friends that are on the Democrat side of the aisle, like our actual friends in real life, that's why they don't say anything. Have you noticed that? They're the quietest people out there. We spent 4 years listening to these people go, oh, bad man, orange man, oh, God, look what Trump, he raised, I'm racist. Quiet. You don't hear a peep from them. It's astonishing. Where's Black Lives Matter? All of a sudden, police aren't brutalizing black men anymore. All of a sudden, they're not hunting them in the streets. What happened? Where's Antifa? It's like all of a sudden racism just like disappeared. It's gone. Such a big issue. It was plaguing America. It's all over the news. It's all gone since Joe Biden's been off. It's remarkable. You know, the guy that Kamala Harris campaigned on saying he was racist and all the things that he did was racist. And all of a sudden now she's clapping behind him at the State of the Union. Yay, good job, racist. Good job. Astonishing. But don't worry, guys. Hey, it's all legit. Dan has his head on straight. Dan knows what's going on. God, I would love to team up with Dan Bongino and do a podcast through the Dan Bongino show. Ooh, we'd make such a team. Well, it's not legit. It is politically motivated. And we now finally have the jurors. And I'm going to go through each one of them. Juror number 1 here lives in New York City. Probably a Democrat then. He has no children and enjoys doing anything outdoorsy. He gets his news from the New York Times, the Daily Mail, Fox News, and MSNBC. So, you know he's kind of a Democrat because this. If he was aware Trump is in charge of other cases and jurisdictions and how that affects him, the man said, I don't have an opinion. But you watch Fox News, MSNBC, the Daily Mail, the New York Times, that's where you get all your news. Interesting. So, juror 1, we already know which direction he's probably going to go. Juror number 2 is a man who said he follows Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. Because Michael Cohen is on TikTok every single day, ripping Trump. I'm not exaggerating. Every evening, Michael Cohen is on TikTok, shitting on Trump for hours on end. Formerly known as Twitter, as well as other right-wing accounts, including former his advisor, Kellyanne Conway. So this should tell you everything you need to know right there. The reason he said he follows those figures was that he could be plugged in to anything that might move the markets. I might need to know that. When asked if he would unfollow Cohen, as he may be a witness in the trial, the man said, absolutely. The man also said that he's not seen any evidence related to the case. I will try to keep an open mind. You guys, is there a human being out there that doesn't know anything about this case? It's been all over the news. Like, what do you mean you haven't seen any evidence or whatever? Like, that means you've been under a rock for 8 years. I mean, you got to question it, right? You got to question it. You also have your juror number 3, a young and middle-aged man who lives in Manhattan. The man said he grew up in Oregon. You don't need to go any further. The dude went from Oregon to Manhattan, one leftist place to the other leftist place. The man said he enjoys hiking and running and gets his news from the New York Times and Google. Democrat. Juror number 4 is originally from California. Here we go. Another leftist area to another leftist area. But lived in New York City for 15 years. The man said he has been a security engineer for 25 years and holds a high school diploma with some college education. The man is married with 3 children. His wife is a teacher. During his spare time, he enjoys being with his children, woodworking and metalworking. The man said that he has served on a jury before, on both a grand jury and a jury in a criminal trial. The man said he gets his news from a smattering of news sources. As for social media, he said he doesn't use it. So if you're not willing to claim exactly where you're getting your news, makes me wonder. And also, you're coming from California, a left-leaning, hard Democrat-ran state, to another left-leaning, hard Democrat-ran area. Probably Democrat. Juror number 5 is a young man, a New York native, who has been a teacher of English language arts for 8 years. The woman, who previously a caseworker at a juvenile detention center, said she has a master's degree in education. Indoctrinated. Probably leftist. Mind you, my master's degree is in teaching, but I'm a pretty hardcore Republican and definitely conservative. I'm a creative at heart. The woman said that she is not married and does not have children. Her mother was administrative aide for a police department, and her godfather was a homicide detective. Whoa, maybe, hey, she could actually be impartial here. A lot of homicide detective police department. You know, men and women, boys in blue. Men and women in blue. tend to be a little bit more conservative. I won't hold that against him. So she was asked if Trump chose not to testify, whether she would hold that against him. She said she wouldn't. Well, she says that now. We'll kind of see. She says, however, that she appreciates Trump's candor. President Trump speaks his mind, and I'd rather that than someone who is in office who you don't know what they are thinking. So juror number 5, folks, we might have hope with this one. We might have hope with this one. 1 through 4, I'm not putting my money on it. Juror 6, a young woman who lives in Manhattan. She described herself as a New Yorker. The woman is a software engineer and said she likes to dance. So not much on her. We'll kind of throw her out too. Juror number 7 is originally from North Carolina and works as an attorney and a civil litigator. The man is said to be married with 2 children. His wife works in risk management for the bank and said he enjoys spending time outdoors with his family. The man said he gets his news from New York Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, and Washington Post. Democrat. Okay. So you got 1 through 4, 7. I'm going to say you're Democrat. Juror number 5, that's the one we're banking on right now. And then you got juror number 6. We don't know. So we're going to have not enough information. Not enough guess. Juror number 8 has been selected. Information as juror is not available, so we don't have 8. We don't know yet. Juror number 9 is a woman who lives in Manhattan. She is originally from New Jersey and works as a speech therapist. The woman is not married and does not have children. She said she likes to spend time with friends and go to restaurants and go on walks. The woman said she never served on a jury before, does not watch the news or follow current events too closely. The woman said she did, though, have email subscriptions to CNN, New York Democrat. Look, we're just basing it off the information we have. Could I be wrong? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But when I see somebody has subscriptions to CNN and New York Times, those are not conservative, folks. Not conservative. Mind you, if this person doesn't listen to talk radio, she doesn't follow the news events or the current events, that was specific, right? Too closely. That means she hasn't been updated on all the BS that's been coming out and the fake news that came out from the Democrat Party for the last few years. She probably doesn't even know about the Biden family corruption, so she's probably going for Biden. I mean, that's the question you should have asked. Who'd you vote for in 2016 and 2020? That's the real question that we're all curious on. Juror number 10 is a man who lives in Manhattan, was born and raised in Ohio. Yeah, this sounds promising. In commerce for a large company. The man has a college degree. The man is not married and has no children, but lives with another adult who works in accounting. The man says he enjoys outdoors and loves animals. The man said he does not follow the news, but listens to podcasts on behavioral psychology. The man said he has no strong opinions on how Trump is treated in this case. Interesting. So we're going to throw 6 and 10 out. Well, what do you have? 6, 10. We have 6, 10. We have 6, 8, and 10. So 6, 8, and 10, we don't know. We don't know anything about juror 11 either, or juror 12. So 12, 11, 10, 8, and 6. So 5 of the 12 we don't know. It seems my best guess, juror number 5 is going to be our best bet here on getting Trump off. Curious on which one you think, numbers 1 through 12, are the best bet in terms of being Republican or conservative and leaning more towards Trump and being able to sniff out the fact that this is a totally political trial. Like, hands down, not even close. The other thing that went viral the other day that I've talked on, and I even talked about in my book, Trojan Horse on the Left is Detroit America, is the pay disparity. Because these people go, well, the patriarchy, and these people, I'm talking about the left, the patriarchy, the injustices of what's going on, of not paying men and women a fair share. They're not paying women enough money. They're paying them 70 cents on the dollar. All this stupid, I mean, they just don't know math, right? These are the same people that graduated high school and college, probably great grades, but don't know anything. So this hit CNN, where what the conversation about Caitlin Clark's pay gets wrong. So Caitlin Clark, very great college basketball player, got a rookie wage of $76,535 a year. Most Americans don't make that. And rather than just being happy for her that she got drafted and is making good money, they have to sit there and bitch about it. And what are they complaining about? She's not making as much as the NBA stars. She's not making her fair share. The profits aren't being distributed in proportion to the NBA. Folks, people don't watch the WNBA. Let's just ask the question. Name a single WNBA team. Go. Let me know. Don't look it up. Don't cheat. Tell me a single WNBA team, like the actual name of the team. None of you could probably do it. Maybe one because you saw it in a news advertisement or something, or you just saw it most recently in the news here. How many of you have ever been to a WNBA game? I've never been to one. I don't plan on going. It's boring as hell. There's a reason why they don't get paid the same or in proportion. The WNBA has never been profitable. Never. They're being subsidized by the NBA, you guys. They're in a negative then. Never been profitable. No. Well, the president comes out and says, women in sports continue to push new boundaries and inspire us all. Just a question. I'm not hounding women. What boundaries are you talking about? Like, what new boundaries are we pushing and who's inspired? I'm not inspired. Like, yes, you got drafted. Great. Like, this has been going on for a long time. Again, I don't know what boundaries they're talking about. But right now, we're seeing that even if you are the best, women are not paid their fair share. It's time that we give our daughters the same opportunities as our sons and ensure women are paid what they deserve. I'm not even so sure Joey wrote that. Okay? The reason why is he's not fumbling through his words and it's actually somewhat coherent. Doesn't make sense. Don't get me wrong. It's totally insane. But there's a video down here that I want to show you guys. Look at that. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? It says, what does it say? Oh, Biden? Oh, what up? No, not so much. FJB, baby. FJB. So it always floors me when these idiots in Congress, these lefties, don't know how money works, but these are the same people that are dictating what you can and can't do with your own business, what you can and can't do with your own money, and want to constantly increase taxes. They don't understand how it works. Literally don't understand how it works. You want to know how I know that? I think it's like upwards like 99% of Congress doesn't have a business degree, never went to school in business, doesn't own a business, has never ran a business, has no clue on how business functions. These people are idiots. This dude he's running for president again, is an idiot. They don't understand how money works. The people on The View, they're idiots. These people on the news are all idiots. It's astonishing to me that they don't understand. Where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get it? I'm telling you, folks, this is like that show with Jeff Foxworthy. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? This is fifth grade or below economics. This is so basic. And I mean that a little. There's no money. You can only offer her what you can offer her. And by the way, it's fair because she signed the contract. If it wasn't fair, then why would she sign it? People always bitch about their pay. You signed for it. Clearly, you thought you were worth $76,500 something dollars, because if you didn't think so, you wouldn't have signed it. If you think you're worth more, go somewhere else. And by the way, with her sponsorship deal, she's making like 10 million or less. Okay, so she's getting paid this. She's making, how many people make millions of dollars a year and they're going to complain? They're going to complain. I don't need to go any further than that because you all understand the fact that it's bogus, that these lefties are going to sit there and complain. Well, we're not talking about that. She needs to make as much as an NBA star, but she should make it proportionate and share the revenues. What revenue? Nobody goes to the games. I mean, Bill Burr has a great bit. Like, women make up half of our population. Don't tell me to go watch the WNBA. Why don't you go fucking watch it? I don't want to watch it. I watch the NBA. I watch the NHL. I watch the NFL. I watch men's sports. All the women complaining. You go buy your season tickets to the WNBA. I don't care. It's always these, it's always these like prissy, like Karens out there, these left-leaning women that always want to sit there and tell you what you could do with your own property or what you should be doing. Well, you should pay them more money. Bitch, get yourself up off the couch and go to the games then. Don't tell me what to do. I support the men. Look, if the WNBA was awesome, I'd go watch it. It's not. I'll watch women's UFC. That's fun. You know what I mean? It's competitive. Beating the crap out of each other. I love a little bit of brawling, I don't want to go watch some girl do a layup that could get beaten by a high school men's team. You guys with? Again, I'm just saying it's odd to me how these progressive lefties are always telling us what to do. Why don't you go support them? The same people are telling us to go support others. Don't even themselves. Never been to a game. They couldn't name a team. They couldn't name a player. It's astonishing, the hypocrisy from the Democrat and the progressive left. It's really it's mind bending. It's like us trying to make sense of how Joe was elected president in the same way that we're trying to make sense of these progressive lefties trying to make any sort of sense out there. It just doesn't happen. Well, speaking of progressive lefties whining, complaining, this I love. Google CEO breaks silence after firing 28 employees. This is a business. So there's a little bit of backstory here. You have the Google CEO who broke his silence on Thursday regarding the firing of these 28 employees who occupied an executive's office in California and protested in the company's New York building to demand the company terminate a contract with Israel. So here's a picture. You can see the picture right there. That's them. I think at this point they're outside the office, and then they go inside his office, and there's video of him saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to give him multiple opportunities to leave and deal with HR. Like, hey, you call the HR and file a complaint, and they'll basically be able to handle it for you. They weren't willing to do it. And so he came back like hours later. This was a whole day thing. And goes, hey, if you don't leave, I'm just going to have to call the cops. But I do want to give you guys an opportunity. Mind you, that's all coworkers going, you don't leave, we're just going to have you guys arrested. And they didn't want to do it. So they all got arrested there right on the spot, and rightfully so. But this is what you see from these nut jobs, progressive lefties. But also, I do want to point out, Google, this is your fault because this is your employees. And by the way, there's a lot more of them. And they want to do harm. I'd be surprised that you even kept them on board. These are people that will sabotage you and make it seem like they didn't. Oh, it's just a mistake. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Please. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no. By the way, fuck them. Google's the same people that sits there and silences us. Same with YouTube. I don't have any sympathy. By the way, no sympathy from my end here. You did this to yourself. This is what happens when you hire a bunch of progressive lefties. Ultimately, we are a workplace, and our policies and expectations are clear. This is a business, not a place to act in a way that disrupts coworkers, makes them feel unsafe, to attempt to use the company as a personal platform, or to fight over disruptive issues or debate politics. So, it goes a lot further. The termination of employees was announced, so they got rid of them, and rightfully so. It says their actions were unacceptable and extremely disruptive. Absolutely. I mean, there's a whole chaotic scene. The projects were announced in internal emails to employees that shared a list of demands, including that Google drop its $1.2 billion contract with Israel because these people, they hate Israel. God forbid Israel tries to protect itself. God forbid Israel does this or that. Are they anti-Semitic? Don't know. Didn't hear anything that they said that was anti-Semitic. Maybe they are. I didn't go that far into it of researching it and see if they actually what they said. All I know, they were against the contract that Google had with Israel, and they were all up in arms about it. And so they take over people's offices. You guys, they've been doing it for decades. They did this with Ben Sass, who used to be Nebraska senator. I think he's now the president of the University of Florida or Florida State. When he was a dean of a university before he became senator, he talks about this in his book. It's called The Vanishing American Adult. Students would take over his office and demand classes. And what was astonishing was, I think this took place in the fall semester. And he says, we don't offer classes that you're trying to take in the fall. You just have to take them in the spring. And they were they're occupying the offices, demanding that they offer the class in the fall. They were leftists, you guys. These aren't conservatives or Republicans. No way in hell, that ain't our ideology. I don't even give a shit if somebody sits there and tries to tell you that they're conservative Republican. You ain't want that part of our party. Hell no. We don't act like that. These are whiny babies. They're snowflakes. They're people that never had consequences in their life. They don't understand the repercussions, and if they do, they're idiots. No which way you point the direction, folks. These people have their head on straight. There is no linear path here of which these people are not stupid. They are. But Google's stupid for hiring them. And I would be shocked if they ever got a job again, because if they're willing to do this to that company, what makes you think they're not willing to do it to yours? So you'd be an idiot to hire these people. They shouldn't be hired anywhere else. Now, speaking of people that are idiots and should have never been hired in the first place, you got Joy Behar. Hell of a transition, right? I'm getting better. With my transitions. I don't know if you noticed, been working on it for all of you, trying to make the show better. So she's calling us commies, you guys. Here we are again. The name calls. Oh, what do we got now? So we're racist. Can we create a list here together? Racist, we're bigots, and add in the live chat or the comment section if I'm missing anything. Racist, bigots, sexist, homophobes. We're misogynistic. Is that one? Did I add in xenophobe yet? We're discriminatory. We are a threat to democracy. We're a threat to the republic. MAGA, if you want to take that negative, I don't really take Make America Great Again. But, if I'm missing a lot, trust me. Oh, we're deplorables. That was one. That was Hillary Clinton in 2016. Now we're commies. There's another one. Oh, we're fascists. That was another one right there. It's astonishing. We're colonizers. That was one. There's a whole list here, and add on a bunch in the comment section of live chat. We'll just create a list ourselves. Maybe we should create a list for the next, I don't know, forever. So Joy Behar, we all know Joy, claimed on Thursday that Republicans were in bed with the Russians. She's still pushing this, you guys. You know how tiring it is? People, they're not with us. I've said it. They're idiots. You guys, it really does show you how amazing America is, the fact that she still has a job and that she could just say that much stupid crap on air every single week and still get paid millions of dollars to do it. What an amazing country, is it not? So she's still going to be pushing this, and would have been referred to the House Un-American Activities Committee if it were still a functioning body. Behar made the comments during a broadcast on The View, which it's astonishing that's even around. I don't know who the hell watches that. I'd imagine it's a bunch of Karens that want to sit there, those same people that say, oh, well, women should get paid their fair share. You don't watch the WNBA. Oh, you misogynistic patriarchy, little a-hole. Like, all these people, it's probably the same people that watch The View. So, quote, I'm discovering that most of the folks on the other side are snowflakes. They're the ones that are afraid of information. We got a clip. Let's watch it together. I got it. I can't. I haven't seen it yet. I've been holding off. You guys know I like to wait a little bit and just kind of get the good stuff with you so that we can just look at the idiocracy all together. Here we go.
In the bed with the Russians. we grew up at a time when if you were pro-Russian in any way, you were hauled before the HUAC committee, and your life was ruined and you were blacklisted. Now all of a sudden these people are all about the Russians.
Trump.
I know, but
because of Trump.
Why are Americans accepting that all of a sudden?
And they
call the
shouldn't.
Democrats commies. They're not commies.
That one girl on the right, I forget her name. She's such a rhino. Oh, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. No, you're not. You're not even close. Give me a break. So they're all commies. Joy Behar claims all Republicans are in bed with the Russians. What an idiot. They're so far off the reservation. It's insane. You guys, this is the same Joy Behar that got all excited because Joe Biden supposedly, allegedly works out every morning. Oh, no, yeah, he gets out of bed. He walks. That's what she said. They're idiots. So here they are going a step further where Whoopi claims that Republicans have forgotten that we, the people, make decisions about what goes on in this country. Okay.
Why it's so hard to figure the other side out? Because they've forgotten that we, the people, make the decisions about what goes on in this country. And every time they try to usurp it, I was listening to a book today talking about women's rights in the early part of the century. And, women could do nothing.
Can we just talk about this? What the hell is she wearing? Like, what the hell? Okay. Also, this is a lady that goes out of her way to indoctrinate herself.
Nothing. You had to be married or you didn't exist. Why would you want to go back to that? Why are we allowed? This is the thing. I don't understand why we didn't get angrier sooner. And I know people are angry now because I hear it. But why are we going backwards in a way that is not good for the economy? It's not good for the country.
Gore Vidal, the great writer, thinker, said that he called this the United States of amnesia.
Yes, he did.
So
Whoa, are they talking about Joe? They're talking about Joe?
between fake news and amnesia, we're in a lot of trouble.
Wow. I honestly, God, I don't know how you watch The View and you come out actually smarter. I don't think it's possible. So they've forgotten that we, the people, make the decisions. And then she pivoted to like women's rights. It was like really random, right? She all of a sudden pivoted to women's rights. Like, oh, I'm reading a book. Oh, sorry, no, I'm actually listening to it. Okay. I'm not even gonna go there. Not even gonna go there. So that was The View. We're in bed with the Russians somehow, you guys. Russian collusion. It really is astonishing that they could sit there and espouse all these lies, and then they have the tenacity to tell us about fake news. The same people that pushed the Russian hoax, the witch hunt, the same people, these people, those people, pushed the lie, right? These are the same people that sat there and promulgated the whole idea that the Hunter Biden laptop was the Russians, right? Oh, it's the Russians. It's not real. It's fake. These same people that have the tenacity to tell us that we're in bed with the Russians. Fake news. Oh, they're promulgating fake news, all misinformation, disinformation. I don't know, you guys. The last little bit's kind of a fun story, really weird. I caught this one kind of at the tail end of the work day yesterday. Let me see if I can zoom out for you all. Really crazy stuff. I wasn't even sure if it was real, so I had to actually make sure that it was, and it is. So there's a school district that's responding to these claims about student protest over these furries. Now, we didn't deal with this when I was in school. This is the Democrat Party. Okay, this is not conservative. This is not Republican. It's not even independent. This is the Democrat Party. So there's a video of these middle schoolers walking out of the school district on Wednesday, and there's a conservative social media circle that was posting these claims that students were protesting because the district was allowing student furries to terrorize other students. And a conservative radio host shared this on X, that the student who organized the protest told students furries were biting, scratching, and spraying human repellent on other students. And when a student retaliates, they're the ones who get suspended. Now, the school district said that the claim was false. He also said students at middle school are not wearing full-body animal costumes to class as furries, part of a subculture of people who sometimes dress up like animals but act like humans, known to do. Now, basically, people, I didn't know what a furry was fully. I guess it's a furry where, like it mentioned, somebody dressed up as an animal and acts like one. But by 4 p.m. Wednesday, the video went viral on Twitter. Students claim that the furries bite them, bark at them, and pounce on them without repercussion. This was posted by Libs at TikTok. However, if they defend themselves in any way, they get in trouble. The school's message encouraged respect, where the message was sent after a group of students had been targeting other groups of students, saying things that were overheard by others that the administration felt were inappropriate and shouldn't be said. The group of students being targeted, he added, were students who sometimes come to school wearing headbands that may have ears on them. He said doesn't think the targeted students necessarily refer to themselves as furries. So it's interesting because they're coming out saying, well, this whole thing is false. They're not actually furries, and they're not really doing these things. But then you're going to come out and say, well, they don't call themselves furries, but it seems like the other students are calling them furries because they're dressing up, wearing ears, and acting like animals. These are pretty young kids, he said. You'll have students that show up with headbands and giant bows. You'll have students that show up dressed as their favorite basketball player or baseball player. That's just what kids do this age. In one specific instance, the targeted students were sitting in the corner of a lunchroom eating as a group of friends. And when others began calling them names and throwing food at them because they were dressed differently. After word of the altercation spread, the school sent an initial message to families last Friday stating, we expect all students to be respectful towards each other while here at school. I am not for bullying, but what I also find interesting is that it tends to be cited towards whoever's being discriminated on to stop sitting there enforcing whatever rules about the very group that's being discriminated upon. Meaning there's more leniency towards a discriminated group than there is to those that are committing the discriminated group, even though if it was vice versa. So if the discriminated group, the group that was being bullied, finally starts bullying other people and starts acting immature or having behavioral issues, they're going to be less lenient on the group that was initially being discriminated on than they would the group that was bullying them initially, but now is being bullied by the other group. Furthermore, who knows what to believe, because I've heard stories in the past where people are using kitty litter boxes at schools, which turned out to be false as well. Now, the story itself is real. There are people that are being called furries at this school, but the nuances of it, we don't know, because you just have a group of middle school students saying a bunch of hubbub. And if anybody knows anything about the school district, you don't always just take a student's word for it. Now, sometimes a student is telling the truth, but sometimes they aren't. They just want any excuse to come out and protest and leave the classroom because they don't want to be in class. But I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. Do you think this is true? Do you think the school district responds to claims about students' protests over furries? Do you think there's furries happening in the classroom? There's a lot of weird stuff happening on school campuses these days, folks. I would not leave it out of the probability that furries are not on campus. I think they just might be. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. We've covered it here on the Bald Brad Show. We've kind of strayed away from it a little bit, but there's a lot of weird stuff happening on school campuses, folks. A lot of things you're unaware of. If you haven't seen any of our videos, check them out. I mean, there's been strippers at school campuses. There's been students taking parents' lunch money and putting them in the thong of trans strippers in middle schools and high schools. We've covered it all. Oh, we've covered it all. We showed cartoons of that they're showing third graders in New Jersey how to masturbate and use butt plugs and dildos and all that stuff. Yeah, under fifth grade, wild stuff. They showed them porn. I mean, we've covered it all over 3 years, folks. Wild stuff happening. It's all Democrats causing. How many times do we talk about that on the show here? Again, I wrote an entire book. I'm going to keep plugging this to you folks until I write another one. I put a lot of effort into this. It's hard to write a book. How the left is destroying America. Would love your support, folks. The money's going to a good cause. Me. You're keeping the lights on for us. And, no pun intended, our lights aren't working today. I don't know what happened. Okay? They just aren't working. It's amazing because I don't touch anything in here, because it works, and I'm not very technologically sophisticated. Even I'm 35, I should be, but I don't want it to break, and it's astounding. Things just don't work sometimes. Nothing changes. So anywho, enough of me rambling. I hope all of you have a lovely weekend. I should have a spooky adventures video out tomorrow. We do have a second channel, folks, where we react and we investigate ghosts, the paranormal, the supernatural. The last video I did, I talked about my ghost investigation. I went on a real ghost investigation and caught real evidence, and I talked to you about it. Okay, I'm a skeptic on this stuff, but I'm pursuing this as a journey. Is there credibility or something that we can find that gives credence to another side, to the paranormal? Come find out on Spooky Adventures. Link is in the description, folks. If you haven't already, we'd love for you to become a member, folks. Awesome members with badges. They're always in the live chat, the comment section. They would love you to join as well. The membership's right over here. Look, you can go super sane. You can go $9.99 a month. That's super sane. It is an option. Would love your support. There's $4.99, and then there's the Bald Brad Army, baby, 99 cents a month. Going towards keeping the lights on. We'd love your help and support. Again, check out, we got a website, baldbrad.com, all the good stuff. I got to plug myself, folks. We have no sponsors. We get no sponsors. Maybe one day. If some of you have asked, hey, other than, not become a member or whatever, is there any other things that I could do to support you? Would love to help out, brother. Appreciate those emails, by the way. You're just watching. Just hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. That comment could be anything. You could write one word. Screw Joe Biden. That works. That's not one word, but you could lump it together. So maybe the algorithm doesn't catch it, so we don't all get screwed and silenced. But the other option is if you go on other people's sites and try to get us onto their podcast, we'd love that help as well. Dan Bongino, I'm trying to get a hold of Dan Bongino. Would love to work with him. Would love to partner. Our audiences are very similar. Our demeanor is very similar. I'm not as good as him. Not even remotely as good as Dan. But I would love to partner with that man. He is a saint to this country. And so if you want to help on that front, hitting up anybody in Dan Bongino's team and saying you need to check out Bald Brad channel, would love your support on that end. Daily Wire, we're trying to get in with those guys, The Blaze, everybody, just trying to get other people's podcasts at this point now that we are 54,000 subscribers in. Now the real work starts, folks. Would love your help and support on that front if you are willing and you have the time. With that being said, we're going into the weekend, folks. I hope you all have a blessed weekend, eventful weekend, a safe weekend. And Patriots, Bald Brad Army, I got your 6, and I'll see you next time here on the Bald Brad Show.